Welcome back, class. I hope you are fit and fine. Today's topic is application of the Gauss law. I already explained the Gauss theorem, but I am again revising it. The surface integral of the electric field lines over any closed hypothetical surface, which is also commonly known as the Gaussian surface, in free space is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed within the surface. And mathematically, you can write this one by phi e, which is the electric flux, is closed integration of E dot ds, and this is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught summation of I is equal to 1 to n qi, where qi is the number of charges, where I is equal to 1 to n any number charges enclosed by the Gaussian surface. So this is the mathematical explanation of this Gauss theorem. Now let us discuss how we can apply this Gauss law to find the electric field due to this charge conductor. So here there is an infinite long linear charge conductor, state conductor is there, but if you say, sir, how it is possible to make a wire with whose length is infinite, right now, sir, what is the practical existence of this kind of wire? So this is not an infinite length wire, means infinite means a very large length, and there is a comparison. Suppose your aim is to find what is the electric field from this wire to this particular point, because it's a charge conductor. Whenever you place a test charge here, you will experience a force, so that means there is an electric field is there. So from this separation of this charge conductor, this length is very large. So this is the indication. When the length is very large as compared to the point of interest, you can say the wire is infinite length. Right now, infinite means only the indication it is a very large number. Large, so it is only the indication. So don't think it is a impractical things. It's a practical. So let us discuss here what is the explanation of this diagram. So here our aim is to find the what is the electric field at the point any r from this straight long conductor, right now. So first we will take the closed surface. So I am this time taking the closed surface, which is a cylinder. Cylinder here. So this is the cylinder, which is the green color, which is just touches the point r, where our aim is to find. So r may be on any circumference of this curved surface C. See, this is the indication where. So that means where your aim is to find the electric field. Simply you just take a Gaussian surface, just touches that point, right now, then you can find. So if you see this green surface, there are three surfaces. One surface A, one surface B, these are the flat surfaces, and this is the surface C, which is the curved surface. So this cylinder or this Gaussian surface have three faces, two flat surfaces and one curved surface. So first of all, what is the direction of the area vector? So we know that the direction of the area vector is normally outward. That means on the surface normally and the outward. So for the surface A, you see this is the ds is the direction of the area vector, because see, it is the ds is normal on the surface A and it is outward. And similarly, you see for the surface B, this is the direction of the ds, right now. So normally on the surface B, it is normal and it is outward. And similarly for the C, if you see that this is the direction of the ds on this curved surface, it is normal and it is outward. So these are the direction of the area vector. Now what is the direction of the electric field? What is the direction of the electric field? So electric field, you know that positive charge from any positive charge plus Q, if you see the direction of the electric field is always what? Outward direction. You will see the direction of the electric field. Similarly, here the direction of the electric field is outward from this line conductor. Outward. So if you see from this one to from this one, this is the direction of the outward, and similarly this is the direction of the outward, and this is the direction of the outward direction from this conductor. So this is the direction of the electric field, right now. Now apply the basic definition of the electric flux. So it is the E dot ds, right now, E dot ds, and for the whole closed surface, if you integrate this one, you will get the total flux passing through this curved surface. Now see, I am breaking this integration E dot ds into three integration, because the total surface have the three surfaces. So I am breaking this for surface A, surface B, surface C. Clear? So for surface A, E dot ds, for surface B, E dot ds, and for the surface C, E dot ds. So just see here the integration. For the first surface A, E dot ds cos 90. Why I am taking the cos theta? So if you see here for surface A, the angle between the electric field and the ds, this angle is how much? 90 degree. So this angle is 90 degree. That is why E ds cos theta. So theta is the 90 degree. So I am putting here. Similarly for B, if you see the angle is again 90 degree. So E ds cos 90 degree. And for the surface C here, see electric field vector and the area vector both are in the same direction. So in that case, the angle between the electric field vector and the area vector is 0. So E ds cos 0 for the surface C, right now. But you know that the value of the cos 90 is 0. So value of this integration is 0. Value of this integration is 0. So you will get only E ds cos 0 is equal to 1. So here you have to integrate this function E ds for the closed surface C. But electric field is a constant. Right now, electric field a constant term, you can take outside of the integration. So here the only one variable is ds, and ds is what? The differential surface area on the surface C, right now. So if you integrate the ds for the whole closed surface, so that is the surface area of the cylinder. And what is the surface area of the cylinder? So you see here the surface area of the cylinder is 2 pi rl, because the length of the cylinder is given L and the radius is given R. So that become 2 pi rl. So this is the value of this integration, close integration of E dot ds for this Gaussian surface. But this value is equal to q upon epsilon naught. So what is the charge enclosed inside this Gaussian surface? Right now, our aim is to find what is the charge enclosed inside this Gaussian surface. So see here. So here we know that the lambda, what is lambda? Lambda is the charge per unit length. So lambda is equal to q by L, right now. So the value of the q is equal to what? Lambda into L. So just cross multiply here. So q upon epsilon naught become lambda L upon epsilon naught, right now. So you just put the value there. So E into 2 pi RL is equal to q upon epsilon naught, and you just put the value of q here, that become lambda L upon epsilon naught. So after simplification, you will get the electric field is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 2 lambda by R, right now. But you know that the electric field is a vector quantity, so you can express this form, expression into vector form also. So here the electric field is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 2 lambda by R from this magnitude, and the direction we just multiply this magnitude by a direction. So here the R unit vector. And what is the unit vector direction? So from figure you can see here, it is the radially outward. Radially outward means when from this conductor, if you draw the radius on this surface C, then that direction, in the same direction, this is the direction of the electric field, right now. So this is the radial vector, R is there.